Hey guys, it's Beck at Sassy Pigeon HQ and welcome to another video. I'm currently using the Minty Bear journal from my Etsy shop and I'm going to be setting up all of my spreads for February. I'm sorry, I'm not really sure what was going on here, but I clearly did not check the camera and my book is not fully in frame. As usual, I'm starting with a calendar and all of these boxes are 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters or 5 grid spaces by 5 grid spaces, and they all have a 1 grid space or 0.5 centimeter line across the top of them. And yay for me, I finally noticed that my journal was not in frame and I've adjusted that. I had a hard time deciding on a theme for this month. I wanted something pink and Valentine's Day-ish, which is not very like me at all. And none of my stickers or kits fit that description, so I went on a little bit of a hunt. And I found some inspiration from the account Bujo with Zozo. I'll share the picture here. And it's just like a love letter kind of theme, and I thought that was perfect. My recreation is quite different, but I still really was inspired by this account. So I'm going to draw in some details now and I'll see you on the other side. I really love all of these elements. I think they're really cute. I wanted to give the lettering just a normal kind of handwriting kind of feel, so I didn't try very hard with the lettering. I would have been happy to just leave it as it is in black and white. I think it looks really cute, but I do add some colour and I bring in a range of pink markers. I use Tombow 743, 761 and a Crayola Super Tip as well. I do come in later with a couple of extra Tombows for some shadow and to colour in the envelope. So the envelope colour is 990 and the shadow colour I use is N89. I'm loving everything about this spread, especially the little heart garland and string hearts in the top right corner. But that's it for this spread, and we're on to the next one. You might have seen in the video for my yearly setup that I did a page of what I called Just Keep Swimming goals. So for the first time, I'm doing a dashboard in my monthly setup that will be based on those goals, and it's just a way that I can keep checking in with them and making sure that I am getting these things done. At the end of January, my kids have all gone back to school, and the start of February I go back to work from some holidays I've had. So this is going to be the first couple of weeks of actually getting back into routine and getting that structure back happening for everybody. So I thought this would be a really good time just to focus on these Just Keep Swimming goals and to really plan out for the month, especially so there's a couple boxes that'll be at the bottom there for date night and kids adventure. And I think some planning for those things will be really handy. Because this page is super functional, I had to be a little bit crafty with how I could decorate it, but I think I worked around that pretty well. I'd love to know what kinds of functional pages you guys keep in your journals and how they work for you, what's your favourite part about them, and if they help lighten your mental load. I would also love it if you could hit that thumbs up button and give my video a like. It'll really help my channel. And if you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. Okay, time to start colouring and decorating now. I'll see you on the other side. One thing I thought I'd mention is that I'm generally very inconsistent with lettering and fonts through my setups. It doesn't really bother me, but are you guys consistent with your fonts across your spreads? I just kind of go with whatever suits the page, really. Although in this instance, I do the same header style on both of these pages. Some final touches on this page, and my Just Keep Swimming goals dashboard for the month is all done. On the right hand side, I'm going to be doing my self-care bingo page. I'm bringing it back. I didn't do it last month and I actually really missed it. So I'm going across the top with a garland. I put in a header, and these boxes are 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters or 5 grid spaces by 5 grid spaces. 100% sure why, but quite often I don't actually fill out this spread on camera. Let me know if that's super unsatisfying. But I have included things in my grid this month like plan a family outing, bake something, watch a movie, play a video game, date night, try a new recipe. And then I've put in some easy wins like change my sheets, gratitude journal entry, drink water intentionally, wash my hair. So no matter how busy this month gets, I'm sure to check off something in there. I've been doing these self-care bingos for quite a few months now, and while I'm not too worried about getting things checked off, I still have never actually got a bingo, so maybe this month is the month I do it. With that header taken care of, this page is done and we're over to the next spread. This is going to be my first weekly for February, and it's also going to be really boring. I've been really rethinking how I'd use my bullet journal lately, and I want to change a few things up. I really love the layout of the Hobonichi cousin, though I don't have one, and I've also been really inspired by flipping through my very first bullet journal that I made and seeing how things were really more free-flowing and less to-do list. I also have a STEPH PASE planner going alongside my bullet journal this year, so I'm thinking I might try and use my STEPH PASE planner for more to-do lists on a daily basis, and I'm going to get back into planning in my bullet journal that's just a bit more notes about my day and things that I will find more interesting to look back on rather than what I've done. I will still include what I have done in a day in relation to my to-do list because I find it really handy to look back on what I've done. But I'm just going to try and change it up a little bit, see what works for me. I may change it again next month or even in the next week. But so far for this layout, I've just got the days of the week there on the left-hand side, and they are going to be for the highlight or events of the day. So I'll have like my work in there, kids' sport, any other appointments or things like that in those days. Underneath that, I'm going to have a box there for just a little to-do list, so my focus is for the week. And then I'm going to rule up the rest of the page into columns, and they're 4 centimeters across or 8 dot grid spaces with 1 grid space in between. I was also inspired by Emma, Fox and Cactus. So she's changed her bullet journal layout where she just does columns for the week, and she kind of just rolls with filling it out, and then as she finishes a day, she just starts the next day directly underneath it rather than pre-planning a space for her days. And I just thought that was a really good place for me to start. So that's what I'm doing with this spread. So I wasn't lying when I said this spread is going to look really boring, but by the end of the week, I think it's going to look awesome. I've added the little Monday header there to get me started, and it's over to the next weekly. Same approach for this one, but a different style of boring weekly. This time I've just got the boxes going across the top of the page, and I'm dividing the pages in half. So they are 6.5 centimeters across or 13 grid spaces, and that will really be it for this weekly. When it comes to the mid-year and setting up a journal, when I filled this one, I'm really tempted to change the whole layout of that too. I was going to do it for this journal and then I chickened out. So I was thinking about adopting a more Hobonichi-esque feel, and instead of doing a future log and then doing a calendar per month, I was just going to do all of my calendars at the start of the book, maybe with some tabs, and then do my memories and weekly pages after that. I may even go back to where I used to use 1 page for a weekly, and then that would give me more space for maybe having some dailies in there and the memories. I know that I'm not going to need dailies for every day of the week, so I'm not too worried about running out of space particularly, but I just feel excited and I feel like it's time for a change. My bullet journal was a bit too structured and I'm ready to do something different. If the paper issue is fixed, I'm also really tempted to buy a Hobonichi Cousin for next year, or even the Avec, where it's split into two 6-monthly blocks, but I would still use that alongside of my bullet journal, but I'd have to give a bit of thought into how that's going to look and how I would use both of them. I'm also thinking about starting a reading journal. I don't do heaps of reading compared to other people, but it just might be fun to kind of scrapbook about the books I'm reading. I don't generally have a lot to say about them, but Erin Smith, to name one of a few people that I follow, they do a lot of cool things in reading journals, and I think I'd like to give it a try. I also have a bad memory, so it might be also nice to have a reminder there of what the books I've read were about. Back to this weekly, I've added some pink to the boxes just to bring it in with a theme. I've added a to-do list in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm adding the dates to my pages now, which I often forget in my plan with me, as you'll notice, and I'm adding in the first Monday of the week. That's the last detail of this spread, and it's all finished. As usual, for the last page of my setup, I usually like to start with the first page of the month, and I'm going to go in now with the title page. Just going to include and reproduce elements that I've already used across this setup. That's all my elements finished, but I feel like everything is just kind of hanging foul. So when in doubt, guys, put it in a box. I'm just adding a box here with a 12 Pigma Micron. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And that is the end of my February setup. I'm really happy with how this theme has worked out. I don't normally draw everything, so that's quite unusual for me. Got my title page, my calendar with events and next month. I've got my Just Keep Swimming goals and my self-care bingo that I fill out later. I've got my first weekly and second weekly, and I haven't created any more in case I don't enjoy this layout. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to hit that like and subscribe button. If you made it all the way to the end, share a love heart emoji with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!